Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Nuggets of Wisdom. My name is Empress Pamela, and today I am sharing with you notes that I've acquired from many free webinars, videos I've watched, books I've read, content that I watched over the years, and wrote down notes, took notes in my journals and notebooks. So, I want to share today 10 Rules for Success from Marie Forleo, Forleo. If you're not familiar with her, I would say Google and get get a taste of her essence and her positive energy. Back in the day when I used to watch a lot of her stuff, she was just very a breath of fresh air. I think she had a podcast. She would interview influential people. I guess it wasn't called the healing journey back then, but I would say borderline spiritually evolving people who are on self-improvement journey. I think that was kind of her, that's what I got from her, and people trying to find their passion and their purpose. And she shared a lot of her own story. So that was kind of enticing. And she's very down to earth, I would say. Anyway, Marie Forleo's 10 Rules for Success. Number 1, find your path. Well, isn't that interesting? How do we find our path? What is my path? Well, I think some would be of the belief that you are always on your path, and the journey, your life, is all about finding your purpose. And you're constantly a seeker, but what it turns out to be is that you already have the knowledge within, so it's almost like a rediscovery of a self, and then coming to terms with your life happens the way it's supposed to be. Now, some people are of that mindset. I'm not telling you should be of that mindset, but maybe you'll figure it out. Marie Forleo, the second rule for success: listen to your gut. So again, she's talking about your gut instinct, your intuition, how important it is that we follow that nudge. It's like our, what do you call it? The sixth sense, the intuition, and how important it is. And I think a lot of her interviews are with people who pretty much realize that they had something within them telling them to follow a certain path, and then they kept ignoring it. And so maybe they write about how they discover they were on the right path the whole time. They just needed to listen to their intuition. Number 3, the third rule for success, according to Marie Forleo: be fully engaged. Now, I don't know if she means don't half-ass things, but be fully engaged. Is that about being committed to something 100%? Maybe, perhaps. I keep wanting to say don't do it half-ass. Either do it or don't do it. There is no try, something like that. Number 4, live in the moment. I want to say, don't beat your up for the past, for maybe not taking action sooner, or not doing something correctly, or not following your intuition in the past, because the roads that we took prior to us finding our path were all a part of the plan so that we could learn lessons that help us discover our path. It's all meant to happen, some would say, but also living in the moment, being present, enjoying, the Eckhart Tolle of the situation where there is no future, there is no past, there's only now, the power of now, living in the moment, recognizing that this is when you exist, is in the now. I don't even know. Sometimes that's hard to explain. Number 5, the 5th rule for success, according to Marie Forleo: behave like you're the best. Oh, it's almost like positive affirmations. I am, fill in the blank. I am confident. I am a great influencer. I am Empress Pamela. So saying it, but also behaving it like it. So your actions, the quality of your actions. Well, I also want to bring up that part of the manifestation where that act as if you're wealthy, act as if you're abundant, believe, receive, achieve, whatever the manifestation thought process is. That's kind of like what's coming up. The 6th rule for success: define success for yourself. So everyone's definition of success is different. Please, please don't measure your success according to someone else's definition or someone else's rules, like living your life to please others according to how they define success. Something that's coming up right now for me is worthiness. So I've had quite a difficult life in the worthiness department, the solar plexus, feeling like I'm worthy of love, worthy of success, accolades, worthy of abundance, wealth, money. That has been a struggle for me. But recently, I came to know how much disapproval a family member had for me. And I want to say my offspring, because their definition of worthiness or having a worthy occupation is much different than mine. And so feeling like you're looked at as being unworthy, or what you do or how you operate or how you live your life is not up to par, up to snuff, like you're not doing what you quote unquote should be doing. This has been a recent wound that came to realization that I've been trying to heal. Okay, so that's number 6, defining success for yourself. Number 7, be okay with uncertainty. Wow, the word that comes up for me is the F word, and I don't mean that one. It is faith. Faith. Be okay with uncertainty. So you have to have faith. Sometimes things don't work within our timing. It works out within divine timing. Or there's some hiccups along the way, which are probably lessons that we need to learn. So the 7th rule for success, according to Marie Forleo, is be okay with uncertainty. Number 8, take action. Wow. Sounds so easy, right? But I've had, as an example, I've had goals. Some goals I want to say probably my entire life that I've written down year to year, put on a vision board, spoke out, wrote in a journal, and they're still goals. They're goals that have not been achieved because I have not made the commitment. I have not taken action. I didn't create an action plan. I didn't take the first step. So the good thing about that is that there's still time to take action. There's still the present moment. Yeah. But in order to be successful, you have to take action. And if you fail, that's okay. You can still take more action. A different type of action. The 9th rule for success, according to Marie Forleo, is to express yourself. And what comes to mind is creativity, the word creativity. It is my belief now that we are all creative beings, that all art is good art because it represents the expression of the divine within each of us, meaning God is speaking through us through our creativity, whether you are a musician, an artist, a writer, chef, cook, architect, anything like that. Express yourself. So, when I was young, I always tell this story, but it's true. I always enjoyed art, being creative, art and writing. My two releases and two joys, especially when I was a kid. And I was pretty good at it, I guess. But then I had a teacher say, "Oh, you suck. You're not as good as Julio Sanchez." Shout out to Julio Sanchez, who was very good. He just had a natural ability. And it took me almost 40 years to pick up that paintbrush again and to just start expressing myself with what I love doing as a child. So, always express yourself and take the time to do it. Put yourself first, because creative expression is like a meditation and a connection with your higher self, which is all very important in this life. Oh, and guess what the number 10 rule for success, according to Marie Forleo? Live a good life. Now, I would say a good life would encompass all of that, plus balance, focus, harmony, joy, love, Maslow's hierarchy, or the frequency, vibrational scale of love and above. All of those emotions would qualify as living a great life, actually. So anyway, thank you, Marie Forleo, for your nuggets of wisdom. And thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.